We need some truth-telling. So John from IPS, come on and tell us some truth. And you know, at our rallies, we have the politicians to come to listen so that when they go back to the floor, they carry the people with them. And so, James, we thank you and others who've come to listen today. But here we go. John, tell us, first of all, the top 10 things that are bad about this bill, because it's more than just the Medicaid, and then talk to us about the deadliest part of what's going on, and then we're going to put a face on these numbers.
Thank you. Thank you, Bishop Barber. Thank you, Congressman Raskin and others who are here who will bring this message back to the Capitol. I'm John Cavanagh from the Institute for Policy Studies, and it's been an honor for us to work with Bishop Barber and Repairers of the Breach and the powerful moral groups assembled here this morning to expose to the American people the immoral budget moving through the U.S. Senate right now. This morning, we release a crucial update on our joint report, The High Moral Stakes of Budget Reconciliation, and we're also releasing new state-by-state data on how many people are projected to lose their Medicaid and SNAP through this budget. And our analysis concludes that Senator Bernie Sanders was correct last night on the Senate floor when he called the proposed budget the most dangerous piece of legislation in the modern history of this country. Our IPS and Repairers research concludes that no single act of Congress has ever added more to the U.S. deficit and to the violent income and wealth inequality that threatens our democracy.
That's right.
So I'm going to say just a few cruel facts that the research shows. One, a health and hospital apocalypse. At least 16 million Americans would lose health insurance. That amounts to 14 poor and low-wealth people for every millionaire household that would receive a tax cut. Shame. Take the state of New Mexico, where over a third of the inhabitants, a total of 714,000 people, are on Medicaid, and over 117,000 people are projected to lose it. Shame. In New York State, over 1 million people are projected to lose Medicaid. And I ask you all to look at these documents. The figures are on the coffins. North, south, east, west, over 16 million people affected by this. Tell your congresspeople, tell your senators. Then, research, and Bishop Barber just referred to this, from Yale and UPenn, have estimated that these cuts would result in more than 51,000 preventable deaths per year. That is 1,000 deaths for each of the coffins that are here today. And this is not just policy violence, it is policy murder.
That's right.
Yeah. 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 What is it? Policy murder. Yeah. Two, on climate. As you know, storms, heat, and diseases related to climate change are killing tens of thousands and creating millions of climate refugees. Well, the Senate bill now includes more than $1 billion in new tax breaks and subsidies for the fossil fuel industry. Shame, on top of existing subsidies that will accelerate climate change while costing taxpayers an estimated $17 billion per year. This is policy murder. What is it? Policy murder. Three, hundreds of billions of dollars more for the war budget and the deportation budgets.
That's right.
This bill will add roughly $120 billion to the war budget, which eats up more than half of the total discretionary budget of this nation. And it adds roughly $150 billion to cruelly arrest, detain, and deport immigrants. Shame. These expenditures will enrich the CEOs of the military contractors and private prisons while killing thousands more in U.S. wars and inhumane detention facilities. This is policy murder.
Policy murder.
Policy murder. So I bring you to these documents.
That's right.
Use them There's two of them up on the two new ones up on the repairers website, the IPS website, the state-by-state breakdown, going through each of the different areas in the budget. But we want to end, repairers, IPS, the rest of us, by saying that it is within our power as a nation to end this policy murder on the most vulnerable. Yes. By fairly taxing the wealthy and giant military and fossil fuel corporations, reducing our bloated military budget, and demilitarizing immigration policy, we could free up more than enough public funds to ensure that we can all survive and thrive. So today we urge you all, as you call your congresspeople, to join this moral fusion movement to force our elected officials to end this budget and to pass a moral budget.
Thank you, John. And John, I want you to read at least 5 of the southern states, because down south where 1/3 of all poor people live, these senators come up here and say that they're doing what's right by their people, and they phrase this stuff in coded race language. But the people that's gonna be killed, they won't be killed by race, they'll be killed by death and policy murder. But just share with us, like Texas and Georgia and North Carolina. I want y'all to hear these numbers. And South Carolina, Lindsey Graham is leading this, but what is Lindsey doing? What is he, talk about the number of people.
Okay, Georgia, 84,000 people expected to lose Medicaid. 440,000 expected to lose SNAP benefits. Moving down to South Carolina, well, let's start first with, I told you, New Mexico. New Mexico has the highest percentage of people on Medicaid, on SNAP. South Carolina, 48,000 expected to lose Medicaid. 143,000 expected to lose SNAP benefits. Texas, 303,000 expected to lose Medicaid. 806,000 expected to lose SNAP benefits. And in the great state of West Virginia, it's not in the South, but it's represented here by Pam Garrison and others, 75,000 expected to lose Medicaid, 84,000 expected to lose SNAP benefits. This is policy murder.
Policy murder. And you'll never hear us at a Moral Monday criticize people on their personal failings, personal failures, because everybody has those. But what we are here in the public square is to criticize those who are using their public office to destroy people's lives. We're here for life. Healthcare is life. Standing against war and violence is life. Fully funding public education is life. Living wages is life. We are not here as a coalition of death. That's what we see going on with this murder and killing, and we're sending, and not only every time they say we don't have the money, it's not a lie, it's a damn lie. That's what it really is. It's a damnable lie. And we have to call it out for what it is. Now that you've heard the numbers, we're gonna put a face on these numbers, and every congressperson is getting this data. They will not be able to say that they didn't know. We are making sure that every one of them gets all of this data and testimonies of real people.